France could definitely be the next country to quit the EU, Emmanuel Macron has been warned, as the EU comes face to face with another crisis. Britain completed its departure from the EU on New Year's Eve, 4.5 years after the historic Brexit referendum, in a move that has ended 47 years of membership to the bloc. The UK had been in a transition period with the EU for most of 2020 but has now unshackled itself from Brussels rules around the customs union and single market. Both sides had agreed a post-Brexit trade deal just a week earlier following several months of tense and often bitter negotiations. Boris Johnson has reveled in the success of Brexit, boasting how the UK has now taken back control and has remained insistent the nation will quickly flourish with its new-found powers. Now Brussels is facing a fresh crisis, with French President Mr. Macron facing increasing calls for France to hold its own referendum on membership with the EU. Charles-Henri Gallois, president of the political campaign group Generation Frexit, said France can become the first country to follow the UK out of the EU and is confident of success should a referendum take place. He claimed while a departure from the EU would free France from a financial burden totaling tens of billions of euro, it all comes down to retaining democracy and sovereignty. Mr. Gallois told Express, France can definitely be the next country to leave the EU and we are working on it with Génération Frexit. I think that if we can get a referendum on Frexit, we will win it as we will have a proper debate on the EU, which is not the case in other elections. A country which does not control its laws, its money, its commercial agreements, its currency, its boundaries is not a sovereign country at all. France is a great country and should take back control. You can have thousands of economic arguments as the EU costs us a lot financially, cost of the euro currency overvalued for our economy. France is the second largest contributor to EU budget. France will lose 40 billion euros in the coronavirus recovery fund, but eventually it's about democracy. Do we want to be governed by French people that we elect and that we can fire in the next election if the policy is wrong? There is no such thing as democracy in the EU. Whether you vote left or right, you have the same exact policy which is decided in Brussels by non-elected people or in the European treaties that you cannot change, as you need the unanimity of 27 countries with different national interests. Mr. Gallois also hailed Boris Johnson and UK for standing firm against demands from the EU during the Brexit negotiations, adding, "It's great to see them take back control."